Cocaine in my nose, yeah, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup, though. Cocaine in my nose, yeah, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup, though. Cocaine in my nose, yeah, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup, though. Cocaine in my nose, yeah, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup, though. Cocaine in my nose, yeah, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup, though. Cocaine in my nose, yeah, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup, though. got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL. It's Wednesday night. It's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's
It's Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that purposeful lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to PSGL round number 8 in F5 around the Spa de Francorchamps. My name is Jake. I'm taking you guys through this as always. And joined alongside me as well as always, Mr. Rando was taken. Sorry, I even got your PSN wrong for some strange reason. AKA Oshin. How are you doing this evening?
Well, I am very dry, unlike the drivers in this, by looks of it. I think this is our first ever wet session. Actually, no, Brazil was wet, actually, just remembered. I still have horrible memories of that race. But yeah, first wet session for yourself, Cole, anyway.
Yeah, no, it certainly is, and this is where I think we're going to start to see who is a rain merchant and who isn't a rain merchant. At the same time, though, it also depends if these guys are on dry tyres as well, exactly, for the race. So all can depend. Anything can happen with the setup. I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. Firstly, just before we actually get started as well, just like to apologise in a bit of a delay. For some reason, the host said that he couldn't make it about an hour beforehand, so we've now only just realised and had to scramble around as much as possible. But we're now finally here and finally in the session. 15 drivers here this evening, including all of our championship contenders, bar one of Gian. So I think this is going to be quite an exciting race this evening.
I mean, yeah, we also got a couple of new faces in ETA Larpa, and I believe there's another new name. Yep, VIR Casellero, unless someone's changed their name unknowingly. But yes, small grid tonight, so this is definitely a chance for the likes of, you know, the championship contenders in Rara, Kayiu, Hazara, Coleman, and Gridlex, kind of an outsider in this championship at the moment. Start racking up some points, but I think our first man is going to be the new man, Casellero. I believe I'm getting it right, to start a wet Spa Francorchamps. So Spa, already a difficult track in the dry, it's going to be 10 times more difficult in this wet, as you have to get your brake work really right for the source, and he does it, and he thrusts it very wide there, almost invalidates it there. If this track was actually updated, he'd be in the gravel, but it isn't. And now he's not going to go flat up a Rouge, full lift through a Rouge up to Radion, and now through the chemistry, no DRS, but you're still relying on that engine power, and your straight line speed is going to be shown here. How much are you taking out for this as you come up now to the short chicane? Very treacherous. He's risking it with the curves, and I don't think it's worked for him. He's lifting the line just very wide on the exit, coming now down to Ravage. It's very awkward, and the rear goes on him. Saves the dough. Very lucky not to go on a spin there, but he's struggling through Ravage. And now no-name course, just that very awkward corner. Again, he's almost loose off every corner now. Puon, he's probably not even going to touch the throttle. He only goes about halfway through majority of Puon corner. Coming up now to Lefania. It's a corner where you need so much momentum between the two parts of it, as you run down now to Stavlo, another one where it's important to get your edgy speed perfectly right, but he has to lift off it. The second Stavlo now, this one, if you get it wrong, you get absolutely destroyed, either your left or your right. And now you run up for this last back straight, but you're going to have to lift now through Blanchimont, something you wouldn't do in the dry, but he's committing to it. He's taking Blanchimont flat in the rain. That's going to be a rare sight, I think, as now the last the bus stop, drifting through a Tokyo drift style, as now just one last traction zone. Very, very difficult lap for Casero, but he survives. Kyle Garrett think is going to be next? What is Kyle Garrett going to say? He goes 54.7, significantly faster. Lots of guys coming up. Other new guy, Larpa, coming to line 54 flat. Giovanni's who I'm on board with now. He's had a strong run qualifying as of recently. A pole and second the last two races. Where could he go to start off with? Only P2. Rara, the traditional qualifying king here in F5. It's only P3. Fraser, though, he's got a strong qualifying run and he shows it there 53.9. Seeing who's coming next. So Williams, it's Andrero. A strong run as of recently. Very cautious through the bus stop there. I think he's doing double laps at 2.2, so I think he's done double there. Right, Frankish on that lap, never mind that. Hazara, one of the championship contenders, coming to the line. P6, where is Caillou? Coleman, 53.6. Hey, folks, Caillou almost loses a free ravage. But that's a start. Jeez, Caillou is struggling here. Similar to Larpa, so that is suggesting to me that it actually might be a dry race, and some guys have gone for dry setups.
I think that's probably what they had decided to go with as well, as Roddy just comes across the line next to his Mercedes teammate of Griglick, last week's race winner as well, up to P6. But yeah, very good start for Coolman. Of course, not the best of races last week out in Imola, but now trying to make a bit more of a redemption in the wet in qualifying for Spa. I mean, we never know. It could be wet in the race. We haven't been told what the weather's going to be at the moment, but there is always still that possibility that there is going to be some wet weather going. So that we'll just have to wait and see, as Caslero actually made a massive improvement on his time up to P2 at 53.731. So that's more of a time we was looking for from the newbie of Caslero. Damien also just making his way up to the line, as Larpa as well. To probably start another lap, but Damien 54.416 Kailu, and up to third position he does go. So only two more drivers left to put on a proper lap of Frankis and Astros, and Frankis just coming around the now just coming up towards Blanchimont now. So we'll see what the NLR driver in the Ferrari is able to do. The nice and updated Ferrari livery as well for Monza for this weekend.
Oh yeah, we had to do an entire random update on a random Thursday just to get this car. Did anyone know about this? I wonder how many people knew about this update before they just tried to open the game. But
probably, yeah, probably barely anybody.
I remember coming home and I randomly had to do an update before a league race. I had to join through qualifying. But Astro is going to be the last man to set his first lap. The sole Irishman on the race tonight because he got no Oshin. Very sad. Oh, almost loses it! He was sideways crossing that line. That traction zone off the bus stop is so difficult, as Rara goes purple for sector 1. So we'll be seeing what he's going to be doing.
Just also want to quickly say, Coolman, by the way, improved on his lap time, and he's 1.2 seconds faster than P2 of Caslero. Like, that's a ridiculous margin.
He surely has a wet setup on.
He has to. I'll be shocked if he hasn't decided to chuck on a wet setup for the qualifying, but then it's going to compromise him in the race. I suppose probably could lower his wings slightly, but if he's gone with a wet setup to start towards the front, that's definitely compromising him for this race.
Yeah, what would your preference be? Like, let's say you have different conditions in qualifying and the race. Which do you have to set up tuned for, the quali or the race?
For sure, it's got to be the race. I mean, that's where the points are scored. That's where, all the overtaking is going to go down. You're not going to be overtaking anybody in qualifying. It's Giovanno. It's now a Red Bull 1-2. So, not something, something that we're all pretty much used to a lot of the time in real life, although probably one of the Red Bulls could be doing a little bit better. But we won't go there. We won't get into that controversy. That's very true.
I think the track's ramping up. I think it's drying up as Rara goes P3. I think the conditions are getting better. Now, can they get to dry? I don't think at the moment, no. But the thing with this game is that it can suddenly go from absolutely drenched to dry just like that. A bit like we saw in Zandvoort. Oh, gee! Larpa into the wall of No Name. Lucky to still be going. Lost the front wing. He'll have to come in. but he pulled a Lance Stroll from real life, except without the medium tires, but went straight on a no-name.
Yeah, I think I just caught the end of that as well. No front wing, and hopefully he doesn't block Kailu, because I think Kailu is trying to go again for another fast lap. He does not impede him, so that's good to see. So we'll see what our championship leader is able to do. Come towards the end of Sector 2. Is he going to be up on his time? So far sitting in P7 to 53.0, and he's 6/10 down. So he might be one actually coming into the pits, because I can see that little red flashing light on the bottom of his telemetry. So he's probably going to be looking to come in.
Casero's had a moment. Hello. Oh, yeah, Kai, championship leader. Is he coming in? Interesting. He's got a wrench on. He's in, yeah.
Yeah, so Kaedu coming in. As I said, I saw that red flashing light on the bottom of his telemetry, so that doesn't surprise me. As Damien, yeah, as all Caslera just saw him at the bus stop as well, just having a nice little slide out of there. But Damien going to look to try and chuck this on pole. He goes into P2, so very good time from Damien. Again, we've seen glimpses of what Damien can do in these races. Just, I feel like he's probably been one of the more unlucky drivers of the tier, if I'm honest with you. So I'm hoping for his sake anyway, because I know that we know what he can do. Hopefully for his sake he's able to maybe make it up. As Rara in the grass at the bus stop.
I think he was trying to get out of the way of Frankish and just clip the grass. It's very, very strange to lose it there. Oh jeez, almost into a pit wall also.
I just saw that, so that was very strange. Very strange.
Yeah, like
I think Hazara might be on a lap, by the way. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I think Hazara, he is, and he's 9/10 up on his time. So this could be where we're going to start to see a lot more people maybe make their way out. Maybe even towards the end of the session, it could potentially move to dries. And at that point, it means then we could see a lot of these guys making an absolute jump of an improvement to the point where we could see someone completely different on pole. It could be one of the new guys, could be one of the old ones, or could be our championship leader. He's currently sitting down in 8th position at the moment, but again, not to say it's anything bad, because it's quite a tight and packed grid, despite there only being 15 this evening. But making his way through Pool 1 now, Hazara still looking quite comfortable on these intermediate tyres, and now just making his way out towards the end of the second sector. We'll see what that delta time is going to be in comparison to his lap time. He's currently sitting down in 14th position, and he's 3.5 seconds up on his time. So you can definitely see that track is ramping up. The rain has eased off a lot more since the start of this session. Got 5.5 minutes left to go, and Hazara only with about 4 more corners left to go. Is he going to keep it flat through Blanchimont? He certainly does, and keeps it very nicely coming through there. Now up towards the bus stop chicane. Again, it's very easy to lock it up, or rear lock it up at the entry in towards it, but keeps it done very nicely at the exit as well. No wheel spin coming off of that, and up towards the line comes Hazara, and that is a 150.7, 1.4 seconds faster than Fraser. So we're going to start to see, I think, a lot more improvements come, well, in these next couple of minutes here.
It's approaching dries. I think 147 is the crossover from inches to slicks, but interesting. But of course, we're not talking about qualifying here, but quali, if I'm not mistaken, only one time has the man on pole even got a podium. There's no wins from pole yet. Only podium from pole is Rara in Bahrain, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, actually. I'll have to have a double check on that. But yeah, I think
last
you're right.
week it was.
I can have a very quick check of that for yourself. But yeah, I mean, I think that does sound about right in terms of the stats wise with that. I don't think there has
maybe
been.
Maybe Frankish in Qatar as. Ooh, Gridley.
Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah.
But that was a mixed up. Actually, I don't think it was Frankish at pole. I think Frankish won the race. But if you guys are looking at the softs at the moment, Damien and Gridlick were briefly on softs. So could we see someone gamble on softs? And it's going to be tight at the moment. Cool. Who's going to be next to cross the line? Trying to figure that out. It's going to be Andrero coming to the line. He's currently on a 2:02. He's about to chat it, I believe. He does a 55. Cosgar said a 58. Coleman's coming through Blanchimont now. He's 2 seconds up on his time at the moment. He's going to try and put this sub 50s. But at this stage, anyone who's out on track at the moment is committed. You won't have time to pit and complete an outlap, so you're committed to the inters. So Coolman to the line. Is he going to be sub 50? So he will be 49.7. I think it's going to be just too late for us to hit slicks, but on board Caillou going through Puon. He's taking Puon basically flat. The traction is there. The grip has arrived. Will someone gamble?
Oh,
Greg
yes.
is gambling.
He has. I saw that coming out of the pit.
Gamble. And unless Damien comes out now on softs, it's going to be Grillix only. So Grillix will either be pole or last, realistically. But Caillou right now, the championship leader, he's not had the best runs in qualifying, if I remember correctly. So yeah, Grillix will be only man to try softs, but we're focused on the championship leader right now. Currently P11. The grid is not the grid at the moment. Caillou to the line. Takes pole 49.4. Astro said a 50.2. Who's on an active lap?
Scarra.
Invalidated.
I think actually. Oh no, sorry. Carl Scarra said. Oh, okay. Now that's huge. That is absolutely huge for Grillix. Nobody else.
Drying.
Yeah, nobody else is on a set of the soft or the slick compound tyre. Only Grillix. So you've got to think, as long as Grillix doesn't invalidate on his lap, he's got to get pole. There's no other way about it. If he doesn't get pole, then it's a bottle. He's going through Puon.
So yeah, it's slowly drying, and that message tends to be the giveaway sign. It's still damp at the moment. He needs to get temperature. He's slowing down a lot to not risk anything. Frankish says a 49.3. I think it's low 48s, high 47s is the crossover point. But we could be getting there. But Grillix needs to get the foot down. I think he'll be fine. He's got a minute. But guys are slowing up now. He does not want to get caught behind it. 48.6. It's going to get there. But the issue with Grillix is he's behind a bunch of inter runners.
Yeah, so he may have to try and piece his way through, or he's going to have to slow down majorly so he doesn't catch up to the rest of them. Because you've got to think he's going to be about 2 seconds in front, or 2 seconds quicker in quali, surely.
Yeah, he needs to back up. I think more. This way, he's got to back up, but he's not going to get a chance. He needs to be careful because he has Astro approaching on a fast one who backs out of it. What's the gap Grillix has? Grillix does not have a big gap to Damien. This is what we need to focus on right now. We'll know straight away when he completes the first sector whether or not he's made the right choice, but that track is looking dry. Larpa goes up to P2. Giovanno's looking to get another pole, a second pole in 3 races, 3 front rows in a row, potentially, as the McLarens are going to miss the line.
One of them hasn't. One of them has just made it, and I think that was Carl Scarra. Yeah, so Carl Scarra made it across the line, and he did the exact same time as Giovanni for poles. So because he set that after, means that he is in P2. Grillix 1.4 seconds up in just the first sector alone as Caslero 13 thousandths of a second up ahead of both Giovanni and Carl Scarra. So yes, this at the end of the qualifying's now happened. Rara is out of this qualifying session after crashing at Puon. Now he's got a load of intermediate runners in front of him, and unfortunately for Grillix, it's Damien in front of him. He's on a fast lap as well, and he's down in P12, so they both need to realistically finish their laps. But Grillix is on an absolute flyer, and how much he's caught up to Damien is a ridiculous margin. Coolman at 47.8 as well. And a lot of other people making their way across the line. Giovanni improves on his time and all up to P2 again. Jumping up ahead of Caslero, so 47.9. Both of the Red Bulls on the 47s, and Grillix is 7 seconds. 7
He's going to
seconds.
He's going to get impeded. Well, not impeded. He's going to get hampered by Damien because Damien's on lap. He's in front of the finish. Roddy does not improve his time. He must have been validated. So, well, Grillix right now looks, unless he makes a major mistake off the bus stop, should definitely get pole here. Grillix to the line. Last week's race would have absolutely smashes everyone. 44.9, 3 seconds. Carl Scarra's invalidated. Larpa is going to be the last to the line, I believe. Larpa, the new guy, what's he going to say? P5. Carl Scarra's invalidated, and that is that. What? A dominant qualifying by Gridlick. Takes pole by 3 seconds.
Probably going to be the most dominant pole position that you'll see in quite a while in league racing. But Griglick played that strategy perfectly in terms of that. And, well, pole position by nearly 3 seconds.
Not to brag, but I once took pole in Austria by 4 seconds. The exact same scenario happened. It's right that I was the only one to do a slick run, and I somehow got 4 seconds in Austria. Don't know how.
Fair enough. So here is the grid for round number 8 of F5, and it is Griglick on pole with Coolman lining up alongside him in second. Giovanni and Hazara rounding out in the second row and third and fourth, and it's an all new third row and an all finish third row of Larpot and Caslaro in 5th and 6th. Intrigued to see how these boys will get on in the race as well, so we'll keep our eye out for them. Carl Scarrett is in 7th with Fraser in 8th, Frankis in 9th, Kailu rounding out that top 10. Championship leader down in 10th. Not exactly a good start for him, but we'll see if that means that Coolman, Griglick and Hazara can all maybe try and put a bit more of a charge onto the championship lead. And Darrow in 11th, Astros in 12th, Damien in 13th, Rara, probably the biggest one, down in 14th from Ruddy as well. Both of the two NLR drivers in 14th and 15th. Not exactly a good qualifying session for the pair of them, and hopefully they'll be able to make it up very soon. But just whilst we are waiting to load in the session as it is, you can see all dry. We'll be back in a very short moment as soon as the GT Omega advert has been completed. We'll be back with you very, very shortly. Cool. And we are back. So, yeah, I mean, Griglick on pole and Coolman in second. I've got to ask really quickly, Yoshi, before we end up get going, because I don't think there is formation at that point. Who do you reckon takes it? Do you reckon it's going to be Griglick? Do you reckon someone behind could possibly make their way through the pack?
I mean, from my understanding, just look at it, I believe Coleman had a wet setup on, or more, more catering towards the wet. So, I don't know how it's going to go to him. I think Griglick did have a dry setup on though, because he was near the bottom, but no formation. I keep forgetting about that. So we're away already, and it's a great start, I believe, from Griglick. But Coleman's going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. Doesn't seem to go well. Hazara's got Giovanni, and it seems all clean there through turn 1. But it's going to be wheel to wheel for the podium. But Hazara chooses life right there. Doesn't want to go wheel to wheel. Going up a Rouge makes the correct choice. But here comes Coleman and Giovanni getting almost put in the grass. Here comes Hazara. Never mind that. 3 wide for P3. P2 right now. Giovanni breaks the latest. All good racing here. Hazara up to P2. Giovanni. P3. Coleman's dropped out a bit. Caslero's looking to make a move into Ravage, but too far back as he goes onto the curb. Lucky not to get collected there, but drops a few positions. There, Larp has got up as he's almost put into the wall there by Kaiyu through no name. A very aggressive racing for the championship leader, but majority cleans. Oh, Fraser's gone through Puan, and he may have reset the track there.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Fraser. So he's now dropped down towards the back end of the field. It means that Griglick is still managing to hold on to that the race lead for the time being on this first lap. Hazara, though, amazing effort getting himself up into second position ahead of both of those Red Bulls as well. And can't forget, all of these guys, Griglick, Hazara and Coolman, all battling with each other in the driver's standings as well. So, they're all relatively close on points. So any sort of position that they can make up on each other does matter. I've got to say, good start for both of the new guys of Laupa and Caslaro. Managed to maintain 5th and 6th position. So as I say, a very good start from them. But Kailu, our championship leader, jumping up 3 positions on the first lap. And I think his teammate was under a little bit of pressure. But it's actually the 2 NLR drivers having a bit of a swap of both Rara and Ruddy. Rara getting the inside on in towards turn number 1 and manages to get that position up ahead of Ruddy. So he's on the soft set of tyres as well as our race race leader. So they're going to be the ones we need to keep our eye out for a bit later on down the line in the race, because they could start to struggle in comparison to the rest of the guys out in front of them.
Caillou, he needs to make this move quickly. He needs to catch up to his championship contenders. He doesn't care about the newbies. Goes down the inside, gets it well before the apex of Le Combs, but Zero seems to be really good in that corners, and Caillou seems to have a really fast start of straight since Zero was very much gaining on him through corners. But Caillou's now looking at the second new Finn, and he wants to have him on his rear very soon. Larpa, if he can kill Larpa quickly, he'll be with his championship contenders very quickly. So Rara, he's looking to gain it quickly. He's shoving Kalskara through Poo. He's gonna try it down the inside of Fanya, and he looks like he's gonna get it. Gets it into Fanya. That's not place to see overtaking, just showing the commitment from Rara. A very rare poor qualifying from the Alpine driver, so he has a recovery job again. Like last week, of course, wasn't his fault. A connection issue at the start for putting him in a position that he did not want to be in. The same situation happened with Damien. Rara managed to recover stronger, finish just behind Caillou, but he is no longer in second in the championship, I believe. Roddy's looking at Galscara through the bus stop. Ooh, locking wheels there potentially, but it's all clean there. Roddy's going to try and fight this back. No, Galscara gets a better run down the pit straight, so we move on to lap 3.
Certainly are, and Kalskara almost losing out DRS. In fact, I think he has just about lost that DRS, but going to use a bit of his DRS just to make sure he can maintain the DRS into the back of Rara, which he has done just about. But I'm not going to be surprised if we start to see both Kalskara and Roddy use their ERS down the straight. I think Kalskara kept it on through Puon as well, and didn't manage to, had a little bit of a slide going out of there. Hazara and Griglick as well, both side by side through the Lecom chicane. Griglick going around the outside, or trying to hold it around the outside to have the inside for the end of it, but Hazara manages to get that done. Beautiful stuff from Hazara, and I think you've already got to see that these soft compound tyre are starting to go off already, as there's been a bit of a spinner at the back. That is Franquise through Brussels, if I am not mistaken, as Astro is picking up the first 3-second time penalty on lap number 3. So not a good sign for your fellow Irishman, the only Irishman in this race for this evening as well. So bad start for him, but hopefully he can try and maybe, well, you can probably hope that a few other guys will get themselves a penalty for this evening. But Hazara now maintaining the lead of this race, and now going to be the one taking charge of the rest of these guys behind him.
I still can't go. That is probably move of the season there by Hazara. He was nowhere near him into the apex and just absolutely nailed the corners. He had a half look going into it, didn't have it, and just absolutely switchbacked. Gritlick there. Gritlick is no poor driver, because the reason Gritlick has joined this championship battle despite joining late on, and Hazara made him look like a novice with that move. But it's going to be Gritlick's turn now to go for the move, as he'll have the ERS advantage going through the Kemmel Straight, and he'll be his turn to try and make the move on Hazara. Of course, a thing we've seen a lot this season is first place being traded amongst the leaders in the early stages before the pit stops. So are we going to regain tradition here today? As I believe we are, as Gritlick moves out from the rear wing of the slipstream of the Williams, and Hazara lets it happen. So I think Giovanni got ahead of Coleman there potentially. Caillou's actually got up to P5. He's ahead of Larpa now. He's looking at his championship rivals now.
Yeah, no, he certainly is, and I think also I saw Rara get past Astros as well. So Rara's now back up in, or is now up into 9th position, trying to challenge Damien for P8. Of course, Damien on a set of the hards and Rara on a set of the softs. So you've got to think that Rara should get not with ease, but it shouldn't be too much of a challenge for Rara to try and get past them. Coolman, by the way, started on a set of hards, whereas everybody around him, other than Larpa and Damien, all on a set of the medium and maybe even soft compound tyre, with Griddick and Rara being on those. So considering that they're on those softer compound tyre, Coolman and Larpa are both doing a very solid job, and same with Damien as well. All three of them doing a solid job of keeping up in DRS of those guys out in front of them, and keeping the guys on the mediums and Rara on the softs at bay. So yeah, I think they're doing a solid job, as all going towards the bus stop chicane. a little bit of a tap from Hazara on the back of Griglick, so there's got to probably give him indications, get a move on, and the fact that we may see an overtake go down again towards a Lecombe chicane.
Yeah, it's looking like this as I think Hazara has decided, you know what, I prefer leading this race. I'm not happy with the trading. I think that's become tradition here in F5 in PSGL. I want to lead outright. So he's going to go up a Rouge through Rajon. He's absolutely nailed it. He's already looking to make the move. He'll get it as they open DRS, and he's burning. Bit of his ERS, barely burns any of it. He has so much ERS to his name, and he's just going to blow down the straight there with the ERS 8 as Caillou's going to look at Coleman potentially. No, backs out with things bare open, but Coleman's had a bad run through Lecombs. So can Caillou try a brave dive on that revanche? Coleman's forced to defend. The defense is worked well, unless Caillou does an absolute heavy run down through No Name. He'll have to wait till later to get this move done. The snap through No Name for all good. But yeah, Hazara regains the lead of this Belgian Grand Prix, and he's going to look to quickly gap Griglick, but that is very difficult on a track like this. Despite how long it is, there is so much of it is flat out straight, so Griglick is just using DRS assistance and slipstream to stay behind Hazara. But you have guys gaining as will there be team orders at Red Bull? Of course, Coleman is the guy in the championship fight, unlike Giovanni. So you have to wonder, if Giovanni starts dropping down, does Coleman get the hurry up and go, I'd like to have a go with my championship rivals there, teammates. We'll see what happens later on, and Caillou is right there. I think that's another thing. If Giovanni gives away the position to his teammate, he might just open the floodgates and see so many drivers absolutely send it to try and get ahead of him. So if they're going to do it, it has to be orchestrated properly. But onto a new lap, will Griglick try and regain his lead as he's burning it, coming up to a Rouge. So we may see it here as...
I think we're going to see a change for the Red Bulls. The Red Bulls are definitely changing, yeah. Coleman's using that ERS. He wants to get past his teammate. But then again, Giovanni needs to also use to stay up ahead of Caillou, because Caillou is now on the hunt on both of the Red Bulls. Giovanni goes defensive on him and keeps that position. Nice work from both of the Red Bulls to get that position changed. You said it needed to be orchestrated, and orchestrated to perfection between the pair of them. So managing to maintain P3 and P4, now Coleman can get that charge on to his championship rivals up in front of him, as well as of course his championship rival in P5, who is leading said championship. So we'll see what he's able to do as Lapa now starting to look a little bit more racy on the back of our championship leader as well. Be quite a nice little statement to say, look, I've overtaken this championship leader, I am now here, and I am now here to try and cause some trouble in the F5 tier for PSGL. So we'll see what Lapa can do towards maybe towards the middle side of this race, when those the tyre degradation on both of the mediums and the softs go off, meaning that those hard tyres will definitely come into fruition and play a lot more of a lot more in towards getting ahead of these other guys out in front of them.
Yeah, I think another thing going through his head is like, I'm a new guy here. What if I accidentally take out a championship contender? I will become public enemy #1 immediately. So there's got to be that going through your head, like, you want to send a statement out, but you don't want your statement to be, I'm a dirty, reckless driver. That is not the message you want to see. You want the message to be worried about me for next season, not this season. Unfortunately, there won't be time for it to contend for the championship battle, but send a statement off for next season for those who will remain here in F5. But I'm gonna laugh as I think Griglick's burning it. He's burning it slightly. He's going to it. But he's going for it. He's actually going for the lead. Griglick wants the lead back, and he takes it. He's taking what he believes is his. As Coleman and Giovanni maintain their positions with Caillou behind them. Bit of DRS train for me. They're all in DRS of each other, but Griglick and Hazara are clearly the leading two, as there's a bit of a gap to Coleman. He's not looking in front of him, he's looking behind him, but as I said, he's got a couple good corners there. As Giovanni, that is going to hurt him. Despite the fact how easy it is to go wide and bad, you don't actually see a lot of penalties here. You might get 1 or 2, but surprised because there's only 22 laps. Probably is the reason why there's not a huge amount of penalties in Spa. It's gonna hurt him. maybe that might be a bit of a defect. Oh, Jesus, he almost lost it. Stavro just on board from there, and he had a bit of a tank slapper. But Larbat, he's looking at the championship leader. He's looking at Caillou, but doesn't even know Caillou's the championship leader. He may have just came in here last minute. He might not know the situation. The championship, he might just be racing for the fun of it. Of course, another situation as Zahara is shoving as Caillou's. Oh, never mind. Giovanna's pit it.
Yeah, so Giovanno's pit, and he went a little bit slidey into the pit. Rara has also followed him in, but Giovanna's on the mediums and Rara's on the softs. So Giovanna going to go on a set of the hards to go to the end of the race. Rara could potentially go on the mediums, but no, he's going to go on the hards to the end of the race. So we'll see what both of those guys are able to do towards the end. As Cesaro so much better coming up through El Rouge and Radion, and already going to get that move done before the DRS is even open. Cesaro now going to go defensive on Griglik, still just try and follow in the DRS, and Coolman might even try and go for it on Griglik as well as Lapa. Getting a move done on our championship leader up to P4 goes. Yeah, from there there's a bit of a slide coming out of the intro of the Lecombe chicane, but I think that was just a little bit of rear locking from the Alfa Romeo, and manages to get the move done. Drifting it through the corners on the championship leader is a little bit of a statement, I've got to say, as there's a bit of changing going on behind. Giovanno and Andero managing to change positions, and Franquise and Rara as well. So Giovanno coming out about 4 seconds ahead of Rara, interestingly enough. So Giovanno not in a necessarily bad position, as both Giovanno and Rara both had that pit stop, so they're not both in a bad position, as Franquise and Rara are both battling it out, and Rara is pushing Franquise through the Bruxelles hairpin, and now coming through No Name as well. And Rara, I feel like, wants to try and get his move done coming towards Pouon, but Franquise is going defensive on it.
Yeah, Rara got stuck. Giovanni also got put behind. Oh Jesus, he tried it down the inside. Pouon, how are things being touched there? But Rara got the position, and again, this could be the second time he gets moved on in Fanya, but Franquise is fighting this. He wants to fight this as Rara goes off the track there slightly, but he gets the move done there. But could Franquise be making questions about him going off there through Fanya as Caillou's into the pits? He's covering off Rara, I believe. He also, like, looking at Giovanni, the undercut is powerful here. Cesaro opened up a second gap to Gridlick, so Gridlick's got to look in the mirrors for Coleman. No championship contender. Larpa is looking to contend for a podium on debut. Something Gridlick also did, I believe, in Silverstone, if Silverstone was his debut. Well, Coolman is going to move up into P2. Something he needs to do for this championship is definitely, as Harper just says, after you, sir, I'll copy you. Gridlick's down to P4. He's gone from first to out of the podium in the equivalent of a lap. So those softs are done.
Yeah.
In at the end of this lap, I assume.
Yeah, I was about to say, I reckon he would be, but or he could be holding on one more lap and potentially go on a set of the mediums to the end of the race. It's doable. I don't feel like that is the favoured strategy. I think the soft hard is probably going to be the favoured one to go by, and I think Rara and Giovanni have played this well. Giovanni, of course, with that penalty, he's already 3 and a bit seconds up ahead of Rara and ahead of Caillou as well, interestingly enough. And Caillou was in that battle with Hazara and, really with Lapa and Coolman, but yeah, Caillou did stop, and he is 3 and a bit nearly even 4 seconds behind Giovanni. So yeah, that's going to be one we need to keep our eye out for when the rest of the guys come in, where they come out in relation to Giovanni.
He's stuck behind Andrero now, and these aren't overtaking places. This is what's benefited Giovanni. He got out ahead of the traffic. He got ahead of Andrero and Franquise, so he didn't have to worry about overtaking, as Caillou for this race needs to get this move on Andrero done for the bus stop realistically, but he has to lift off it. He doesn't want to risk it in Blanchimont. He doesn't want to try and max a Stappiness move for 2050, but he needs to get this bus stop move done, and he slams on the brakes, and yep, easy move for him as Rara tries to go through him, makes contact with Andrero but gets the move done. But Hazara and Grillick are in. Where's Hazara going to come out? He's going to come out behind Giovanni. Potentially, no. Oh, yeah, just Giovanni takes what is equivalently the lead of this race. The undercut is so powerful here, but Andrero Hazara is going to try to immediately get this move done, as Grillick is almost behind Caillou. But right now, Hazara, he needs to get this move done on Giovanni, and he does. But Caillou also, he needs to get past Grillick. Caillou is ahead of Grillick, the man who was in P1 when he pitted. the undercut is proving to be the more powerful strategy here. So you've seen likes of the guys on the hardest, Coleman and Larpa, they are going to be hurt later on. They probably will need to do a hard to soft strategy to salvage anything from this race. By the looks of how it's playing out with the undercut, Roddy, Astro and Casero have to come in now, but the issue is both AlphaTauris have yet to pit, so they've kind of hurt each other now.
Yeah, that definitely is going to hurt the pair of them as well, and hopefully they'll be able to, you know, maintain their way through it. But they could be doing the reverse of what Griglick's done, because Griglick did come in and did chuck on a set of medium tyres. So you've got to think as well, he's probably going to get past Kailu on the next lap towards a Lecombe chicane, or maybe even up towards bus stop in this lap from the looks of things, because he's just pushing him along through that second sector. And now that his tyres are a bit more warmed up in comparison to our championship leader, you can just see he's starting to edge closer towards Blanchimont as Roddy and Casero. In fact, Casero's into the pits, so see what tyres he opts to go. I'm probably going to go on a set of the hard compounded tyres, same with Carl Scarrett. But yeah, Griglick all over the back of Kailu in towards bus stop. Not going to go for it for the time being. It's definitely going to be towards a Lecombe chicane. We're going to see a move go down between a pair of them as Hazara. Yeah, sorry, that's just those guys moving past everybody else. In fact, actually, Hazara got the overtake done on Fraser. I had to go a bit too deep through Lula Source as well. And now it means that Giovanno has managed to get a car between him and Hazara, as Coolman and Larpa changing possessions as well. And Coolman now, the leading hard runner that has yet to make a pit stop. But they're running quite nicely in formation, these both Coolman and Larpa. If they can keep on using each other for DRS, not all hope is lost, I've got to say. I think they can still salvage something quite good from this race.
As Giovanni gets the cruise move done on Fraser, he cannot let Giovanni run away with him. Despite penalties, Rara and Caillou fight. Rara is ahead of his championship contender. That could be big when all is said and done in a few weeks' time. Caillou's going to try to fight this back through the hairpin. They run wheels. Aggressive but fair, and Caillou maintains the position on his main rival in the championship, and Rara gets a 3-second time penalty for his troubles. So that is crucial. That could become crucial when it's all done, as Caillou, he's 10th right now. He'll move up positions, but he needs to get ahead of Griglick quickly. He can't be stuck behind other drivers when he has Hazara, who is pulling away. Hazara has been having a late resurgence in this championship. He's third at the moment. He's looking to put himself in P2. He's looking to be the guy that Caillou has to be worried about in these closing stages, and he is making a mark right now as Larpa is coming into the pits. He's gonna have to go on mediums, I believe. He won't get softs half distance, so it's gonna be hard medium for him, as it will be. But where does he come out? He was in that leading pair as Griglick sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix right now, as Larpa's gonna lose out big time here. He may even be behind Casero.
There is that chance for Damien as well. As I said, Damien getting the move done on Ruddy as well, going up towards the Lecombe chicane. The Aston Martin now up into second position, and not a net second position, considering that these three up in front are all still yet to make a pit stop. And if you've got to think how close both Coolman and Larpa were with each other, Larpa's now behind Rara, just up ahead of Caslero. I mean, Coolman, I think he's got to think about pitting on this lap, because otherwise he's going to be in some absolute deep trouble and potentially even come out behind Caslero, when Caslero, I think, was at the back of that train that they had at the start of this race. So yeah, some moves need to be done for him, as Griglick now also starting to catch up to the back of Giovanno a lot more on this lap. He's gotten the gap to Fraser. Of course, Fraser hasn't made a pit stop as of yet, and keeping Caillou at bay. And because of that, he's now managed to pull a massive gap from our championship leader. But Griglick is starting to catch up to Giovanno at a rate of knots, and we could see Griglick and Giovanno have that battle very soon. To be fair to Griglick, all he's got to do is stay within 3 seconds, and then that's another position gained from Giovanno anyway. But I think he wants more.
Yeah, because in fact, Griglick was fighting for the win. He wants to be the first man to end the qualifying curse, as has been apparent this season. They had one, potentially 2 podiums from pole, no wins from pole. As Rara goes down the inside of Blanchimont on Fraser. Crucial move. He needs to stay with Caillou, as here comes Larpa, goes right. You two can get bold moves done on Fraser. I'll make it free for free. As Coleman's in the pits, where's he going to come out? He's going to be around these guys here potentially. He needs to be. He's coming out of the pits now. He's going to be ahead of Fraser. No, he's not. He's behind Fraser.
That is huge as Roddy now getting the move back done on Damien now down in towards the Lecom chicane. So they're also just having a little bit of a DRS battle between the pair of them as well. Hazara has gotten past, has managed to stay up ahead of Giovanno. They're both just following each other in unison. And Rara going for the move on Kailu in towards the Lecom chicane, pushes him over to the left hand side. And Rara gets that position. Lapa also seeing if he can maybe go for a bit of a switchback move on our championship leader as well. These guys have been battling it all race along and doesn't manage to go for any move on our championship leader, but you've got to think those medium tyres that he is on is going to be significantly better in comparison to those two hard runners out in front of him. So Lapa going to look to see if he can make some moves very, very soon, even towards the end of this lap.
Coleman got to move around the outside of Racer, but he has a penalty. He has a 5 second. He spent in the pit lane. Oh, yeah. That's... Especially in Spa, that is a rare thing to do. There's tracks where it's very common to speed, but Spa would not be one of those. He's probably going to be the only person carrying a 5 second penalty, and that's going to hurt him extras. He'll have to clear Rara by 2 seconds now to get the position, and he's got 3 cars to pass here. And they're just fighting all race long. It's going to be a fight to the end by the looks of it. Is Caillou going to try down the inside of the bus stop? He's thinking of it, he's thought of it, and he's sent it. And he's got the DRS, he sent it the perfect time. So we got DRS as here comes Coleman on Lapa. It's become a 4-way battle now. But this is only for what's going to be the net P4, I believe. So the more this fights, the more it lets the likes of Hazara, Giovanni, Gritlick pull away. So Giovanni was on for a podium still, despite his 3 second penalty. But right now, I think Gritlick's going to be looking to get the P2 on track. He's more focused on the car in front of Giovanni. Giovanni was just an obstacle in his mission to get this win as he breezes ahead of the Red Bull up to P2. But we go back as it's going to be 3 wide here between 3 cars. Caillou just lets it happen. Larpa goes down the inside to get P3. Rara's going to cut the chicane as he's going to lose. Oh, he goes into Coleman! He goes into Coleman! That is not... Coleman's luck has been torrid. For the 3rd race in a row, he is spun out by a championship contender.
Yeah, not good at all from both of the NLR drivers. Well, from Rara, shall I say, actually. I was just watching on board.
Did anything wrong.
No, I don't think he did either. I don't think he did either at all. I think it was more on Rara for that rejoin. He kind of came on the circuit trying to sit behind him. Don't think he realised Coolman was on his inside, and yeah, unfortunately sent his fellow NLR driver with him. So... it doesn't look as if Coolman has picked up any damage. I think the only bit of damage he's got is probably to his ego at the moment, but does have a bit of a wobble
track position
as well, and obviously track position as well. But yeah, I think that's the only bit of damage that has been done, as Griglick is now all over the back of Hazara for this race lead. Damien finally into the pits. Frankish is going to be our last one to still make a pit stop in this race. But yeah, now everybody pretty much at the front side have made their pit stop. Lapa setting the fastest lap of the race and all over the back of, well, I say all over the back of Giovanni. He's now in the 3 seconds. Yeah, he's within that 3 seconds. So I think we're going to see a lead change go down. Griglick with the DRS and the fresher tyres and the softer tyres, I think is going to get this move done on Hazara, and it's going to be quite an easy move for him. DRS wide open, not even using the ERS. I think he's that confident he's got that position, and that is move done for the race lead. Griglick now back up to that top step and looking to end that the pole to win ratio deficit that we've got in this tier so far. Hazara running very wide out of the exit of the Lecom chicane.
Rara's got Caillou. Don't know where that's come from. Koskeg gets a 3 second penalty, but yeah, just joined on board, and Rara was absolutely breezing past Caillou on the exit of Les Combs. Wonder how that's happening, because it seemed like a really easy move. So I wonder if Caillou made a mistake going into Les Combs. But there's going to be a lot talked about at the end of this race about, you know, the incident between Larpa and Rara, which forced Rara to go right, and then Rara's rejoining, which took out Coleman and may have put the final nail in the coffin of Coleman's championship aspirations. You have to remember, 3 races ago, he looked to be in a position to have a 10+ point lead in Austria until he was clipped going into the pit lane, which took him out of the race. 1 week later, in Austria, he was spun out in Imola. He was spun out, and for the 3rd week in a row, he has been spun out to no fault of his own. It's just going to be, when is it going to end for Coleman? Ever since he took the championship lead, it has not gone his way. So Caslero's looking at the championship leader right now. It's going to look fast to go down the inside. We have to remember Rara's a penalty, so Caillou will still finish ahead of his main threat, but Lysa Gridlick and Hazara are going to be gaining significantly in the championship battle. But right now, are we going to see Caillou go for the on-track move? He probably has to protect himself from Caslero, so he's going to go for the move there. And then Barras can fly with. I don't think he can really do anything. Caslero's going to go down the inside, follow through. Another double overtake down the straight. It's kind of become the expected thing in this race as to how close the racing's been. If you're the guy in front at the Kemmel Straight, you are not going to be the guy in front coming into Lake Holmes. That is anything, as Larper wants this win, not the win, wants his podium on track. He has been gaining by over a second a lap on Giovanni ever since he broke clear of Caillou, Rara and Coleman. He's going to be looking to get ahead of Giovanni and take that podium on track on debut.
I'll tell you what's a bit interesting as well. Ruddy's in this battle with the soft compound tyre as well. I've just seen him pass Rara going into Brussels, and he is pushing Caslero as much as possible without obviously breaking his front wing through that second section as well. And you can see as well, Caslero's got the red flashing out on the back of his car as Larpa gets the move done on Giovanni, going through Blanchimont as well. So the new driver now onto the podium, on track, very nicely done as Caslero is now trying to go for it on our championship leader in towards the bus stop. Looks one way, has to back out, looked another way, and now is under pressure as Rara around the outside to have the inside into the bus stop on Ruddy, both side by side, both a little bit of wall banging between the pair of them. Rara gets that move done, broke it very late in comparison to Ruddy. I'm surprised Ruddy broke very early that he did, I suppose just to avoid the two out in front of him. But yeah, it meant that Rara had the opportunity of going for that move, but you could just see the better traction that Ruddy gets in comparison to Rara on those hards, and Ruddy just moves straight back up ahead of Rara, and quite easily as well with that with the switchback and the traction out of the turn number one. Caslero trying to use no ERS, but still putting on overtake to go for the move on Caillou. Down the inside, he goes in towards the Lecombe chicane, and I think he manages to get it done. Ruddy on the outside, and to have the inside line of it as well, beautifully done. And Rara follows in suit. Caillou was leading this train. He's now at the back end of this train as Rara and Caillou still side by side of each other through the Brussels hairpin. Caillou gets forced out ever so slightly and has to back out of that one. Meant Rara goes on through. Caillou's probably not going to be quite happy with how that outcome has happened, but Ruddy now up to 6th, right behind Caslero, can still probably get Giovanni. I think podium might be out of it for Ruddy, but top 4 is definitely doable for the Mercedes.
Yeah, Ruddy's just been out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Caslero! How has he not hit the wall?
Wow.
How has he not hit the wall there? Oh, Fanya! He spun off Fanya, didn't hit the wall. That has to be a first. He's doing this race, and he's just gonna move right back past Rara like nothing's after happening. Not like his pants he needs new pants after that, definitely. He's just gonna wait till the end of the race by the looks of it. How is he not? Oh, God! Oh, jeez, Caillou goes into the back of Rara. Damien goes in the back of Caillou. Caillou's in a sandwich here of people he's been racing all season, and people he's probably fed up with the sight of. No offense to any of them. I think Caillou just wants that easy race. He's yet to even finish in the front two, but he still has that championship lead due to his consistency. Only once outside the top 4. It's looking like it's going to be a second time off the top 4 on track anyway. Hazara's retaking the lead. Where's this space come from? But Gridlick's going to go around the outside into Lake Coast. Gridlick, that is payback from earlier by Gridlick. Hazara absolutely pulled the pants down off Gridlick through Lake Combs earlier, and Gridlick has returned the favor right there with the switchback through Lake Combs. Caillou and Hazara find it now. Oh, there's close to contact. How many times has Caillou been close to contact for these technical corners? But Hazara looks to have the move done for no name. Now,
I think we missed it as well, by the way. Damien done a triple overtake down that Kemmel Straight. He's up to 6th. He jumped Caillou, he jumped Caslero, and he jumped Rara. And now up to 6th, 1.5 seconds behind Ruddy. I said Ruddy's not out of this. I don't think Damien's out of it either. 1 lap fresher tyre in comparison to Ruddy as well. even though it doesn't sound like much, it can make a massive difference between, well, having a good race and having a bad race, and Frankie's is having a bit of a bad race down now in plumb last,
Here comes
having to
Hazara.
spin out on no main.
But we're saying Roddy and Damien are no longer out of the battle for the podium. Larp is no longer out of the battle for the win. He is just outside the DRS of Hazara and Graylick. Their fight has brought the new name into this. The fresh face might be a race winner on debut if it goes his way, but Hazara and Graylick have looked to clean the crop tonight. Not the traditional guys, the guys, two racers who've only really been having strong performance as of recent, but they are definitely adding themselves into the championship battle when this race is over. Kuman maybe saying goodbye to the championship. Hazara moves back up into the lead. It's going to be a bit of after you for these next couple laps. Hazara has the advantage on the Barry, 30% extra to his name. Compared to Gritlick, Larpa, he's been out, but he's trying his best to gain into the DRS, but he just can't at the moment. He should have the podium anyway. Roddy's not getting as much as he was previously to Giovanni, so Giovanni might keep his P4 despite the penalty, which would be a good feat. Damien, that might gain Caillou 2 places. Caillou's actually, he might drop out of Rara's 3 seconds now. He's been struggling these last couple laps. Did he pick up damage potentially? He's been hitting the wars today. He's had a lot of wheel rubbing, a lot of love tapping. Has one of them been too hard and taken a bit off his wing? It looks fine to me. But he's been struggling these last couple laps. He's almost out of the 3 seconds of Rara, so that's going to put him P8, and that's going to let Rara close the gap up slightly. It's yellow flag. Oh, cool, man. He's spun. It's another one of those days for Coleman where it looked all so right, and then one moment has just put him over the edge, and nothing can go his way now. As Larpa is in the 1 second of Gritlick, we have a three-way fight for this win. Larpa has 2 lap pressure tires compared to the 2 in front of him. Will those 2 laps be crucial? As we have 3 laps to go, 3 more times we go through this Camel Stray. 3 more opportunities to get this move through Lake Collins, which will be the popular overtaking spot. Gritlick regains the lead on Hazara and Drero 3 seconds. That's not going to affect much as he's well out of the points.
It's all kicking off. It's all kicking off in these last stages here. And Caillou, as you say, I don't think he's got damage because he's managing to maintain the same time to Rara. But I think because of all of that battling that's went on, it's not destroyed his tires, but it's done quite a bit of damage to his tires, I gotta say. So I think that's probably why he's almost out of that 3 second mark from Rara. I think Damien's managed to gap him, so that's basically done with him. But Caillou under pressure of not being able to jump up ahead of Rara and stick in P8, meaning that Rara, Griglick, Hazara all managed to catch up that bit more on his championship. But at the moment, this three-way fight for the lead, Rara picks up 3 second penalty, and there's him out.
Rara's gone. He's lost it off Fanya into Stavro. It's too late for a safety car. What's he done? Oh, he's done what Caslero did, but not able to save it. I was saying it's a miracle that Caslero didn't crash out with spin.
Oh, someone else crashed there.
Cool, man. The miracles not came for Rara, and that might be that will hurt his championship. It may see him out of it all, potentially. Of course, Caillou's not picking up a massive amount of points at his second aspect stand, but that is going to hurt him and could be crucial when all is said and done. And it's going to mean Gritlick and Hazara are going to look like the 2 main contenders for Caillou's top spot. You know, is said and done. I wonder what happened there. Rara's ready myself. Hazara moves back into the lead. But if Larva gets a good run here, he could potentially try something. Coleman, another 3 second, 10 second. I think Coleman is. No, he's still going. I thought he's pitting there. Tired, but he's still going. Right now, we got 2 laps to go. We got 3 guys who want this win. Hazara and Grillick have won this season. Larpez, this is his first ever race. Hazara and Grillick want to be in this championship fight. They want to be serious contenders for this title, and they're looking to do it. Of course, whoever wins this would likely be in second, I believe. I don't know how far Grillick is back. I think Hazard's going to be moving into second regardless of what happens, unless he is spun out because of Rara's DNF. We go on now. We're coming up to one more lap. Hazard's ERS is to his favor, but does he have the straight line advantage to keep behind Grillick and Larpa? Larpa, he's got nothing to lose. He can risk it, but he does not want to be out of favor with everyone in his first race. So one lap to go. Who is going to win? Hazard leads us for the start of the final lap, but he's got two cars filling his wing mirrors now. It's going to be likely down the straight as Grillick goes really deep down through the source. That might be the difference. He's lost about 4/10 through the source. That might be it. That deep moment may have cost him the win, and it may cost him P2 potentially. We're going to see now, but how much you gain, but he's not going to gain enough. It's not going to be down Lake Calms the move is made. It's going to have to be somewhere bold. Grillick is going to need to make the move. I think that is that, but there's a lap to decide this. There's a lap to see whether Grillick can be the first driver that sees the converted pole. Hazard's made a mistake. He's locked the rear, but he's kept the position, but that's brought Grillick back into it. Coleman has retired in the pits, but we're focused on the front three right now. Both the front two are struggling on this last lap. The pressure is getting on them. The pressure of the championship is getting on them. Caillou will get 7th. He will score 4 points, but it's 16 and 12 points to gain here. There's a 12-point and a 10-point gain on the cards here for these guys, as there's going to be one last chance for Grillick. He's going to have to try and send it down the bus stop, but he's running out of ERS. Hazard has an ERS to burn. It's going to be a launch here. Is the launch going to come for Grillick? I don't think it's going to come as he comes through the bus stop one last time. Hazard goes a bit deep here, but as long as he gets the traction here, he will win for the second time this season. Hazard has taken his second win of the season and moves himself into P2 in the championship, and is well and truly a contender. Well and truly in the fight. It's no longer a late resurgence. It is a championship resurgence for Hazard, and Grillick is well and truly in this picture also. Do not forget about that. Since he has joined, he is always running the top, and Larpa on debut gets a podium.
Certainly does, and Frankie's just waiting for him to finish on his, probably trying to go for the fastest lap as well, but that is Hazard's second win in this season. Definitely jumps himself up to second position in the standings. It was Tarara, but now it is definitely to Hazara. So congratulations to Hazara, and of course to Grillick, and of course to Larpa as well for managing to take a podium on his debut as well. So very big congratulations to all three of those guys. And of course Grillick, I think, throwing his hat in there as well. I think that actually might even jump him up ahead. I could be wrong. Might actually jump him up ahead of Rara as well. Yeah, he does, because Rara's on 47 and he DNF'd. So yeah, Grillick now up ahead of Rara into third in the standings. Hazara's definitely in second. And in fact, actually,
on 60.
Hang on a second.
I think Hazara's taken the lead of the
I think he
championship,
has.
actually.
I think he has.
It was 11 points. I think Caillou's got... It's 4 for 7, or was it 5? I think Hazara's taking the lead.
It's 4 for 7. Yeah, so it's 12 points separating them. Yeah. Hazara's taking championship lead.
Taking the lead of the championship.
By 1 point. 1 point is now separating in the championship lead with 4... I think it's about 4 rounds left to go now, or even 3 rounds left to go now, sorry, shall I say. So, final classifications before any stewards' inquiries. Of course, Hazara taking the win for this evening. Still, the pole to win deficit is occurring. Grillick did finish in second and was having a valiant effort with that, but unfortunately didn't manage to do it. Larpa, on his debut, P3. give yourself a pat on the back with that one. Giovanno in 4th, with Roddy in 5th, Damien in 6th, Kailu in 7th, Caslero in 8th on his debut as well. Again, battling with the championship leader, wouldn't necessarily say that's a bad day for him. Carl Scarrett in 9th, Astros. The Irishman picks up a point this evening and finishes in 10th. Fraser in 11th, with Andero in 12th. Frankie's did take the fastest lap in the end, I think, on the final lap. And then our unfortunate DNFers are two NLR drivers of Coolman and Rara. So that is all she wrote for Spa for this evening. And what a hectic race that ended up kicking off to be. And being throughout, only 2 retirements, no safety cars. I've got to say, that was a very good race to watch.
Yeah, and championship, Caillou, we thought was in a comfortable position, but out of nowhere, Hazara is now your championship leader with only 3 rounds to go. I believe it's only 11, is that correct?
12. It is 12, so there's 4 rounds left to go. So with
Oh, there's 12. Yeah, I don't know if they added a 12 one, but yeah, Hazara now leads the championship, but it's so tight now between Hazara, Caillou, and Gridlick. Gridlick, who only joined for Silverstone, I believe. Yeah, Gridlick missed the first 2 rounds of the season, and he's now 3rd, and he's just off the. He's turned the championship. Rara and Coolman, though, they could is that for them. Coolman is looking like game over for him. His luck has been absolutely horrid these last few races, but it could turn on his head. So it's going to be interesting to see how the last few rounds unfold.
I suppose that's when we'll have to find out next week. Make sure you guys are tuning in for round number 9 next week for PSGL F5, because this championship is now 100% heating up. 1 point separating the top 2. Griglick's throwing his hat in the ring. Rara is also still within this championship. Coolman, again, still can't be ruled out. Unfortunate incident tonight, but again, not one you want to be ruling out for certain. And still Gian as well. He's only raced 3 races, and 2 of them he only got points in, and they were literally 2 first places. So when Gian comes back, still also going to be a force to be reckoned with. But as I say, you do not want to be missing out with that whatsoever. As I say, thank you to everybody that has tuned in this evening. Make sure you guys are checking out GT Omega down in the description, and making sure you use code PSGL at the checkout for a nice little discount for yourselves. And again, ones that you don't want to be missing out for. So thank you to everybody that has tuned in tonight, and we'll catch you guys next week for round number 9 around the Saudi Arabia circuit of Jeddah.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God, Jeddah. Well...
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside off. Here he's through on the left-hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.